Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to another video on the channel. We're going to be doing some more reverse 1999 today. And effectively what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you the best way to farm your crafting materials or your upgrade materials for your characters so you're not wasting your stamina on things you shouldn't be. Okay, well, so first things first, what you should be trying to work towards is getting your characters to Insight 2. Just Insight 2 and then trying to get them around Insight level 30. If you want to go further than that, you can. I would not be focusing just yet on doing Insight level 3, purely for the fact that getting to Insight level 3 just requires an absurd amount of materials. Like, look at this. That's a lot of materials. Like, these are not easy to get. These are a lot of you can only craft these, and they're just not super easy to get. And we're kind of at the point in the game where Insight 3 isn't really required just yet. But for the most part, you probably want to try and get your units to around Insight level 2 at level 30 for the character level. How would you farm? The best way to farm materials for this. So say for example, I wanted to take my Matilda to Insight level 2. She requires these prosthetic birds. Now, as you can see, I can either craft them or I can farm them. Now, let's do this the crafting way. So if I go to craft in the wilderness and I click here to craft, as you can see, I already have the resources to craft them, but in order to craft the prosthetic birds, you need to farm the Spell of Fortunes. So, a nifty little guide that 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 has provided for us is this here. If you ever need to farm materials or crafting stuff, it's all here. Now, keep in mind, there's different ways you can go about doing things. You can farm your blue tier materials and your green tier materials, but there's also all your purple materials here. Pretty much the way these purple materials work is come into the stage, go onto this website and look for which purple material you need. If it says worth farming, it means the stage drop chance is high enough for worth farming and a good stamina cost for doing so. A secondary thing you want to keep in mind is the secondary materials. So for example, I'm building my Matilda and I need prosthetic birds. I'm also going to be getting Spell of Fortune drops, which will allow me to craft more prosthetic birds. But say for example, for another character, I need Holy Silver. What I can do is, I don't get any materials for farming Holy Silver here, nor do I get materials for farming the prophetic bird here. So what you can do is you can find ones that can potentially give both of these secondary materials. For example, this one does. So I get both the rough silver and the Spell of Fortunes, which I can turn into the higher level ones. Now, this one is not the best example though, because it says consider crafting. So most of the time you kind of need to choose your materials you're farming carefully. Because you want to make sure you're trying to get a good amount of the main resource, but also maybe a couple of the additional resources you might need. So for example, if I needed Holy Silver here, and I'm trying to farm prosthetic birds, it might actually be better for me to farm 3-9 here. Even though the drop chance, and this says is a good alternative, not as good, I'm getting rough silver and Spell of Fortunes here that I can use to craft prosthetic birds and my Holy Silver. Because then I could take those Holy Silver and I could come into here and use my liquefied terrors to make more Holy Silver and also craft prosthetic birds at the same time. This is the way you kind of want to do your crafting in this game, and it's kind of important. Main takeaway is basically just come into this thing and basically just go to whatever stage is worth farming. You will need to make kind of a decision on which one you want to do, and always keep in mind these secondary materials that you're getting from these. More focusing on the blue materials, not so much the green materials for that. That's when you're specifically farming purple materials. If you're farming blue tier materials, this is a little bit different. You basically, according to 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿, have two choices. You farm a stage that has a higher drop chance than the material you want, but the other drops in that stage aren't as good. Or you can choose a lower drop chance for materials in exchange of a better side drop, so it'll transfer to a better stamina efficiency. So let's say, for example, I'm not looking for a particular purple material, and I just need liquefied terror. What I can do is, I can farm, say, for example, the 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 skeleton, which is this one here. Now, according to this, it recommends I do 3-7, which is this stage here, which has a 23% chance of dropping liquefied terrors. I'll also be getting these other two green materials, but also potentially 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 skeletons. So, basically, whenever you're trying to farm a purple material, you want to be mindful of, say for example, a secondary purple material and two resources that you're going to need to craft those materials, purple materials that are blue. So like I said before, prosthetic birds and Holy Silver require rough silver and Spell of Fortunes to get the higher level. But if you're not trying to farm a purple material and you're trying to farm just like a liquefied terror, what you want to do is you want to look to where in these things they are and maybe choose one that has another purple material you might need in the future or other green materials you need for other things. or just simply the fact whichever one's going to give you the highest drop chance. It really depends on how you want to do things. Because technically, if you're only trying to farm liquefied terrors, the highest drop chance is 66% from 1-14 hard. The one out of all of these blue materials you want to keep in mind is the solidus. These are not recommended to farm. Basically saying directly farming solidus is not advised. There's no dedicated node that has purple materials, so it's better to farm following stages for its crafting materials instead. So what does this mean? Well, let's take a look at what's required to craft a solidus. Here are the soliduses. Soliduses require silver ore and spell of banishings. So what you kind of want to do with these is you want to find whatever materials. So say for example you're trying to farm a purple material or a blue material, and you also need these soliduses. What you kind of want to do is you kind of want to find a material stage that gives you both of the materials for these, but also some of the green materials required. So, say for example, I'm trying to get Holy Silvers for one character and Prophetic Birds for another character. I can farm the Prophetic Birds and get Rough Silver, Spell of Fortunes, and the Spell of Banishings, and then I can come up here and get the Holy Silver that gives me the Rough Silver, but I also need to liquefy Terrors for one of those and the Silver Ore, because in order to craft more Holy Silver, I need the Rough Silver ingots and also the liquefied terrors. So farming these two stages in order to be able to farm Holy Silvers, the crafting materials to make more Holy Silvers, Prophetic Birds, and the crafting materials to make more Prophetic Birds, but also get the materials to make soliduses for when I need them, or I could just need them then. So that's kind of how you want to farm things. You want to take into account multiple things that I'm trying to get for what characters. You kind of want to choose like 2 characters if you can, or even if you're just doing one, just keep in mind how to efficiently farm these so you're not wasting stamina. Like for example, if I'm trying to get Prophetic Birds, I wouldn't want to go up here and farm the biting boxes to get the Spell of Fortunes. Like, just doesn't really make sense. Even though this gives me all of the side materials, the biting boxes, it can be possible to do, but it's just not a very good idea. So yeah, for example, like yet again, if I was trying to farm these 2 things, I needed liquefied terrors to make more Holy Silvers, and I also wanted to make those coins, then I would farm basically 2-3 hard and 2-3-9 hard. That's how I would do things. And with the green tier materials, basically follow the same rules as what I just said, but yeah, that's basically how you do things in this game. In terms of farming materials, you want to kind of make sure you're being very efficient in how you're farming so you're not wasting your stamina. But yeah guys, check the link in the description if you want to come to this page. I'll leave a link down there. And yeah, that's basically it for the crafting in this video, and it's it can be a little bit complicated, but once you see things in game, it doesn't become all that hard. So yet again, my insight level for this needs Prophetic Birds for Matilda, but I'm pretty sure, where are we? Yeah, this one also needs Prophetic Birds, but it also needs Rough Silver, and at the next insight, she's going to need the next level. Or for example, we could take a look at Tenant. What does she need? She needs teeth, different materials. Basically, just farm the things you need and make sure you're trying to get multiple things you need at once and not farming inefficiently. Anyways, guys, hope you all found today's video helpful. I'll see you guys in another video another time. And yeah, I'll be making more content very, very soon. Bye, guys.
After all, Elio didn't put it in the script. Why would it matter?
Bon